Women everywhere of all ages tend to get involved with a man. They think things are going well, and then the man ghosts them, and you're blindsided. It's easy to fall for somebody who seems to be really into you, and then bam, not there anymore. Being like a woman of value means that you know what you want and need before you get involved. And that means that if a man's not in a good place to date, if he's super busy, if he's taking care of a crisis, if he has young children and he barely has time to date, if he's not making you a priority, if he seems to be really into you and then starts to drift away. Many women leave it up to the man to make all the decisions. They passively wait for the man to show up more, to make more of an effort, to call them when they've already slept together and now you're feeling like he's not really there for you. And so what I suggest is take your time in dating. Know what you want, know what you need, and when red flags show up, or even yellow flags, get curious. A woman of value doesn't make an assumption. She's not passive. She doesn't just sit there and wait for the man to make all the moves. She also makes moves and asks questions. What's going on for you? How's this going? What are you looking for in a relationship? I'm going to share a quick story about a client of mine who really was kind of giving up on dating, and we started working together. We had worked together before, and she came back to me and she said it had been a couple of years since her last relationship, and the last guy had been super clingy. And so she wanted somebody who was independent and had a life of his own. And she was finding lovely men, but not the right men for her. So she was just like, they're all so meh, like I'm not feeling it. And then she finally, all of a sudden, meets this guy. And he's ticking all the boxes, and he's really interesting, and he's also super busy. And so right away, the busy thing really rang a bell in my head that this could be a red flag. And I said, be cautious, because if he is an amazing person, but he's too busy, he's not going to make you a priority, and that's going to be an issue. And so he was calling her. They didn't live close to each other, so they lived a couple hours apart. But he traveled through her area a lot, and so he was going to be in the area. So he texted her, they had a nice phone call, and then he just continued to just send these little short texts that really were just not doing it for her. And the whole time she didn't want to appear needy. She didn't want to be pushy and say what she needed because she didn't want to push him away. So together we crafted some conversations about how she likes to have phone calls versus text to get to know someone. And it worked like a charm. He picked up the phone immediately. He started calling her. He actually stopped texting altogether. And she was like, well, he can text me once in a while, but just not anything intimate, and not as we're trying to get to know each other. He has shown up consistently, but in the beginning she was hesitant. I don't know if he's really into me. I don't know. And that's the way I want you all to be. You're gathering evidence. You're gathering data. That's all you're doing in the beginning. So if you think you're falling in love in the beginning and, oh my God, this person is perfect, they might be. They might be amazing, but you don't know them until you've spent a lot of time with them and you've seen them showing up again and again and again, investing time, investing energy, investing themselves in getting to know you and treasuring who you are. That is how to date like a woman of value. And I'm happy to report that this couple now is heading towards an exclusive relationship. He has shown up in spades. I mean, he has driven hours to be with her. She was just in a crisis, and he came and he went out of his way. And he's respecting her timeline sexually. He's respecting her on all fronts. And so she is opening her heart slowly, and so is he. And everything is unfolding, and he's respecting everything that she says, and it's just really a beautiful relationship. We don't know where it's going to go yet, but at this point, it's amazing, and it's exactly where it should be. So if somebody's rushing you and doesn't respect your boundaries, that's a red flag. If somebody is really, really into you and then disappears, that's a huge red flag, and that's not acceptable. So know for yourself, what are your standards? What is acceptable to you and what is not? And I want you to take a stand for that. I mean, it took me decades to be able to do this, and I love helping women do it too. I just want you to be a woman of value and in every aspect of your life, and take back your power. I also wanted to let you know that I have a new way for you to work with me for very, very low cost. It's an app that you can get either on Android or iOS. It's like $2 a minute. And so if you want to be on the call with me for 15 minutes to craft a conversation, to figure out if you should stay or go, to know how to text a guy to get him to get off text and onto a phone call, to know whether this is a red flag or a yellow flag and whether you should continue seeing somebody. Sometimes all it takes is 15 minutes and I can help you. So I wanted to be able to help more women who couldn't afford my private coaching. And if you have a burning question, download the app tonight and get on a call with me.